Alright, hey, so it's Jan here. Um, so at the request of the lovely Ember Pinkstar, I'm going to put this together real quick in an attempt to kind of show what I'm doing here. Just a really quick tutorial video. I'm making myself a green screen for really super cheap. Everything that I've got here I could have purchased at Walmart. The duct tape I got at Michael's Arts and Crafts because that's where we were at. I could have actually saved even a little more uh, if I just chose to get regular plain silver duct tape, but I'm silly and weird and I wanted everything to look nice and smooth on the backside. So I got white duct tape, which cost me a little extra. But for actual materials used, grand total for this project is going to be right around $8. A little bit of rounding off there, but that's the gist. So products that I have is I have right here, I have some foam board. It's white on the back, but on the other side it's nice bright green, which will make a perfect green screen for me. This is what it is. It's just like poster board, except as you can see, it's a little bit thicker, which makes it so that it's got a nice flat surface. You don't get any kind of bends or crinkles or anything. This is what it is. It's just Elmer's brand foam board. Um, there's the barcode if you want to cap a screenshot of this. You can probably search it up on Amazon if you don't want to go to the store. Otherwise, my Walmart had them for $3 each, so that's $6 for the two foam board pieces. All I'm going to do is set these side by side like a stair. I've got these little wooden tongue depressor popsicle stick type things, about 7.5 inches long. It's $3 for 45 of these. I'm only going to use 12 of them, so that's about a quarter of them. So I just kind of rounded that off to about, uh, I don't want to do the math right now anyway, and then this guy was $5. You could pick up a duct tape or masking tape or any other type you want to tape you want to use. You can even use glue. This was $5. But if you want to just get some plain silver duct tape at your dollar store, you could probably get this for $1, uh, and it would be more than enough for this project. This is for the amount of tape that I'm going to use out of this. It'll cost me about 50 cents, and then I use duct tape for everything, so I'll have plenty left over. And I'm just going to arrange these in a very basic line, 9 of them, just to give some extra structure across. So because when I tape the back up, I don't want it to be flippy floppy and fold on me, and I don't want to put any tape on the front side of it because I want it to be a nice clean um, color and image on the front. So I'll be back once I have this taped up and ready to go, and I'll show you the next bit. Alright, so one thing that I didn't mention because I wasn't actually planning on doing this, but I am going to be doing this, um, is I'm going to be using some just simple washable Elmer's glue. You could use probably any glue with the foam in the middle. Getting the backside a little bit wet is not going to be a big deal. I would imagine rubber cement. I don't know about super glue. Sometimes super glue can react with certain materials. This feels like just regular paper on the back here, so I think that super glue would work just fine. But sometimes foam super glue can have a chemical reaction that kind of melts it. Anyway, this is just simple Elmer's glue. You can pick this up for $2-3. But all I'm going to be doing with this is uh, taking these, screw it out a little bit. And I don't need a lot. Gonna rub a little bit on that side, rub a little bit on that side, and then just a quick slab across the middle there. Set my glue off to the side. Come in just a little bit from the bottom. Just try to eyeball it as center as you can. And I'm just gonna apply and press. Press and hold. And that's all there is to that. Um, yeah, and I'm just gonna do this going down the line. I'm gonna put 9 of them on. And all I'm doing here is I'm just wanting this to set up just enough to kind of hold it in place enough so that it doesn't slip and slide around me as I'm laying the tape over the top. Because I want a nice flat connection, nice firm flat connection between the two boards, because I want as little of a seam down the middle as possible. Um, because if there's a big crack or seam um, in the middle, uh, that'll be a black line that'll actually show up in the background, because we want a nice flat, even green color in the background for the green screen. All right, so what I've actually ended up doing is I did the glue and tape process for the top and the bottom. And once I got those on, I changed it a little bit, and I did a little bit different than I originally showed, so I'm going to show that. I'm not going to show doing it, but I'm just going to talk through it. What I ended up figuring out worked best for this little glue stick thing, because it's not a really strong glue, but all I needed it to do was just kind of tack down and hold it in place so it didn't slide around. I got this one done the way I showed you, uh, but it really fought with me. So what I ended up doing is down here on this bottom side, I applied the glue to the bottom of it, stuck it in place, held it in spot for about a minute. Then after a minute went by, I grabbed a nice flat book, hardback preferably, and then I just took some weight. I have a 2-pound mallet here, and I just applied the weight to the middle of it just to give some nice even pressure over the top of it. Let that sit for 4 or 5 minutes just to really lock into place. Then once that was done, I could take all that stuff off. I left the book right below it just so that the boards weren't trying to move around. Put the tape across the top, called it good. What I then went on to do in the middle, because I got tired of fighting with the glue, is I bypassed it because, you know, I use duct tape for everything. What I did, just put the piece in the middle, lined it up where I wanted it, tore off a thin little piece about the size of my finger um, of duct tape, and just taped a strip over the end. There's another strip over the end and a strip over the middle, then a nice big flat strip over the entire piece. And then that's what I'm going to proceed to do going up and down. You'll notice these little notch marks. What I did is I took my ruler, my yardstick here, and I just measured out about 3 3/8 inch so that they have a fairly even spacing up and down. You don't really have to, you can just eyeball it, but I'm OCD and all that good junk. So what this is going to do, and I can show you this now because it's fairly sturdy, is as you can see on the other side, there's a little bit of a mark there, but nothing too worrisome. But this is going to give us this nice big green screen background for next to nothing. Once I get those other pieces on there, that'll be even more sturdy. So, cool stuff. All right, so I figured I'd actually show the process that I was talking about with the tape thing. Pretty simple. I marked all my little spots out just so I know right where to put them. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Put it in the middle, kind of center it eyeballed. Just take my little finger-sized strip of tape and just tack it down at the end there. Take my another finger-sized strip of tape down at the other end there. And then the third piece of tape right in the middle. Just so that that doesn't move. And then a nice strip over the top. I really try to make sure that I run my fingers along the edges of the wood so that I get a nice tight seal all the way around the piece, so there's no potential slipping or sliding inside the tape. Because something that you maybe don't know about duct tape is over time the adhesion will kind of get a little bit goopy. It'll usually stay all underneath, but if there's a lot of hot and cold, it can kind of get a little bit slick underneath, which can cause for some shifting. But anyway, that's that. I'm going to keep going down. Alright, so now we have all of these taped on the back. So yes, pretty stable. But that's never enough for me. Pretty good is never good enough. So the next step for me is to put vertical tape up and down. What that's going to do is it's going to give a nice even white background so I don't see the little stickers and stuff coming through, just because, again, OCD and all that. And B, it's just going to give it a little extra reinforcement so everything stays right where I want it. And so the way I'm going to do that, and I have pre-measured strips already ready to go. So if you're sensitive hearing, this is a little loud. That's why I'm only doing it once. But the way I'm doing that is I just take my hand to the end. I'm going to do it at the other end because it's easier to pull toward me. But just measure about to the end. Right about like that. Just pull it there, and then I mark my finger at about where the top of the board is. Tear off. And that'll give me a strip that is long enough to go from the top to the bottom. I actually went a little bit too long, which is what I would rather do. Let's go a little too long. I can tear a little off the top there. Already got it tacked here at the very top. Come to the bottom here and just press and seal that down. Come to my next piece. Press and seal it down. And I'm going alternating left and right. Just fanning out to the outside. Yeah, it's just a pinch too long. And then I'll just continue in this pattern until I've gotten all of my pieces that I want. Just moving back and forth, left and right. See you in the next bit. Okie dokie. So for this next stage, I'm doing a little bit of cutting. So for something this small of a project, I normally wouldn't, but you should. So for the purposes of a tutorial video, I am. Whenever you're using any kind of saws or anything like that, you should protect your eyes, you should protect your hands, and I really should be using some sort of mouth cover to prevent myself from inhaling any sawdust, but I'm not smart. So anyway, let me make sure that's actually looking at where I'm at. There we go. All right, so as you can see, I've already cut one side a bit. All we're doing is we're cutting some relief slants in to allow strings to hook up into these guys. What these are going to do, see how that kind of cuts in there? I'll be able to tie a string through there and then have that string go up to my ceiling where I've got a couple of screws in my ceiling. So this board will be able to hang behind me and fill up the frame behind me in the camera. So all you're going to do is take a little hacksaw like this. If you don't have a little hacksaw like this, you could probably use a little nail file or emery board. I just do some simple back draws to get a nice start point. Once I have a nice little groove going, and I can cut that in. And if it's fighting you, you just keep doing simple back draws. I don't want to break. This is really flimsy wood, so I don't want to break it. So I'd rather take a little bit longer to get it. Doesn't have to be pretty, doesn't have to be perfect. Just two little cuts going up the sides so that the string can go in. Alright, so the last final step is applying some string to hang it from the ceiling. Uh, really, most any string will work. This is not heavy at all. I'm just using some twine. I went and found some pink twine that I had because I was asked by Amber Pinkstar. So, there you go. Haha, I'm funny. Um, so, I'm just taking this. I actually will redo this when I hang it because I'll need to measure what the right height from my ceiling is and everything. But I'm just taking it, and what I will do is once I get the right distance, how how far. You're not up there. I'm showing you shit, and I'm up above. Anyway, I'll get down here. Hi. So measure from the ceiling down to where I want the top of the screen to be. Once I find that measurement, I'll double it, and that's how long the string will be. And then I'll just take the string, find its halfway point by finding the two ends, bring them together, coming down to the other end, making a little loop. Just feed that little loop over the top, and then you'll just slide the string into those little notches that we made from earlier. That locks it in place there, but we don't want to quit there. So you just do a simple once over, tie it off, then you just want to do one more simple knot. Now what I do to do this is I have, for my simple square knot, I pull the bottom one down, put my thumb there, and I bring the next one down to it, and that makes it nice and tight. And then that'll just go up to the top and tie around the screw or hook or whatever you have coming out of your ceiling to hang it from your ceiling. Um, Alternatively, you could buy yourself a little artist's easel or something like that and set this up behind you on the artist's easel. The other thing that I did, because I'm weird and crazy, is I have a nice spot behind me where I'll be able to swing it up and hang it when I'm not using it. So I created this little doohickey. All it is two of the tongue depressor popsicle sticks, and then I used the hacksaw to cut off two pieces. Well, cut it into three pieces. Stuck one up here, kind of like that, and another one down here, kind of like that, and then ran some tape across to make a nice um, little hole here, and then I'll run some string through there that when I'm not using it, I can pull it up behind me, and it'll hang kind of almost flat to my ceiling out of the way, and then when I'm ready to use it, all I have to do is unhook it and let it down. So, all said and done, that's what you have. Nice little green screen there. Super cheap. It's not going to be the best uh, on the market, obviously. I mean, if you go buy a professional green screen, it's going to be higher quality materials and all that. But this costs me $8 for materials. Um, Actually, the investment for everything that I had to do, if I want to be honest with it, the two pieces of green screen were $3 each of the foam board, so that's $6. The popsicle sticks were $3, so that's $9, and the tape was um, $5, so that's $14, and the glue would have been about $2, so that's $16 all in. Um, Still, even if that's the case, it's really cheap, and then any old string you have laying around should work. If the notches are too narrow, you could always widen them with some sandpaper or a little file or something like that. But anyway, that's that. I hope you all liked it. If you did, leave me a like. If you didn't, leave me a dislike. Let me know what you didn't like about it. I'll try to do better next time. Probably going to get on and play some games now with my green screen. So you'll probably see me here in a few. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.